Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the Defiant, her knuckles white against the railing as the viewscreen displayed the nightmare unfolding before her. 17 Crythian warships had materialized from slipspace, their obsidian hulls gleaming like predatory sharks circling wounded prey. "Captain, they're hailing us," Communications Officer Chen reported, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "Put them through." The screen flickered, revealing the angular, crystalline face of a Crythian commander. Its three eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture Elena had learned meant contempt. "Human vessel," the alien's voice resonated through the translation matrix, sounding like wine through broken glass. "You have violated Crythian territorial space. Surrender your ship immediately, and your crew will be processed according to Dominion law." Elena kept her expression neutral, though her heart hammered against her ribs. The Defiant was a science vessel lightly armed, with a crew of only 43 souls. They'd been charting previously unexplored systems when the Crythians had dropped out of nowhere, cutting off their escape route. "This is neutral space, Commander," Elena replied calmly. "The Terran Federation has cartographic data proving." "Your Federation's claims are irrelevant," the Crythian interrupted. "The Dominion has expanded. This sector belongs to us now. You have 60 seconds to comply, or we will disable your vessel and take it by force." The channel cut off. "Options?" Elena asked, turning to her tactical officer. Lieutenant Marcus Webb shook his head grimly. "Against 17 warships? We've got maybe enough firepower to scratch their paint. Our shields won't hold more than 2, maybe 3 volleys before we're dead in space." Elena's mind raced. The Crythian Dominion had been aggressive lately, pushing into disputed territories, but this was different. This was an act of war. If the Defiant surrendered, they'd become political prisoners or worse, disappear entirely. But fighting was suicide. Unless... "Chief Engineer Rodriguez," Elena called into her comm, "do you still have that experimental drive modification you've been tinkering with?" There was a pause. "You mean the quantum cascade amplifier?" "Captain, that's untested. The simulations show a 30% chance it could tear the ship apart." "And our chances against 17 warships?" "Point taken. What do you need?" "I need you to overload our warp core and route everything, and I mean everything, through the main deflector array." "Can you do that in 60 seconds?" "Captain, that's insane. You're talking about turning our ship into a directed energy weapon." "The feedback alone." 45 seconds, Rodriguez." "On it." Elena turned to Webb. "I need you to calculate firing solutions for all 17 ships simultaneously." Webb's eyes widened. "Ma'am, we don't have the targeting systems for." "Use the navigational array, the sensor grid, everything. I don't care if you have to manually aim each beam. Just get me those coordinates." Understanding dawned on Webb's face. "You're going to use the warp core detonation as a weapon." "Not detonation," Elena corrected. "Controlled cascade. If Rodriguez's theory is right, we can channel the energy release into narrowband beams instead of an omnidirectional explosion." "And if he's wrong?" "Then we die quickly instead of slowly." The Crythian commander's voice crackled over the speakers again. "Your time is up, humans. Final warning." Elena cut him off. "This is Captain Vasquez of the Terran vessel Defiant. You want to know the difference between your species and mine? You see surrender as logical. We see it as unacceptable." She turned to her crew. "Rodriguez, status?" "Cascade amplifier online. Core overload in 10, 9, 8. Webb. Targeting solutions locked. All 17 ships. Fire on my mark." Elena's voice was ice. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The Defiant shuddered as its warp core went critical. But instead of exploding, the quantum cascade amplifier did something the universe had never seen before. It took the raw, chaotic energy of a collapsing warp field and shaped it, focused it, split it into 17 precisely aimed beams of pure destruction. The lances of energy crossed the void in microseconds. The Crythian ships, their shields calibrated for conventional weapons, had no defense against the exotic particles tearing through their hulls. One by one, the warships erupted in silent blossoms of fire and debris. The Defiant's bridge crew watched in stunned silence as the last Crythian vessel, the commander's flagship, broke apart, its reactor breach painting space in shades of green and violet. Then the Defiant went dark. Emergency lighting flickered on. Elena could hear the groaning of stressed hull plates, the hiss of emergency bulkheads sealing off damaged sections. "Damage report," she croaked, her throat dry. "Warp core is completely burned out," Rodriguez's voice came through, strained but alive. "Main power offline. Life support running on backup fusion cells. We're dead in space, Captain, but we're alive." Chen looked up from his console, his face pale. "Captain, we're receiving transmissions. Multiple frequencies. It's the Federation fleet. They were 3 hours away, but they picked up our distress beacon and the energy spike. And Admiral Zhao wants to know what the hell we just did." His exact words were, "What kind of weapon was that, and why didn't we know about it?" Elena allowed herself a small smile. "Tell the Admiral we'll need a tow. And a new warp core. And possibly a research grant." She looked out at the debris field that had been 17 Crythian warships. The price of underestimating humanity had been paid in full. The Dominion had thought they were hunting helpless prey. They'd learned, too late, that humans didn't surrender. They improvised.